Are you tired of not hearing back from your sales emails? Do you want to have a conversion rate as high as a whopping 20%? Keep watching to find out more. What's going on, sales family? It's Fehed once again from Sales Unveiled, helping slash through one more for good luck the online misconceptions around the sales industry and business in general, and helping you give some practical advice you can use in your day-to-day role. Sales emails, I'm sure you'd all agree with me on this one, but one of the most powerful tools that we as salespeople have at our disposal is utilizing effective sales emails. That being said, all too often sales emails go into spam folders, don't get responses, or you get an angry message back because you spelled the prospect's name wrong. Again, for the 17th time in a row. Now, as a salesperson, it's so easy to follow bad practices that don't actually generate results. Trust me on this one. Or follow a lot of the advice of marketing teams whose, heart's in the right place, but unfortunately don't work in sales on a day-to-day basis. So don't understand some of the intricate nuances on this. And that's coming from someone who, studied for marketing for 3 years at university, even though it wasn't a very good one. That's why in the video today, we're going to cover the elements of a good sales video, my experience writing thousands, and I mean literally thousands of sales emails to outbound prospects, what a good email looks like, and what to avoid when you're writing a sales email. So let's jump right into it and stay tuned to the end because I do have a little bit of a bonus here for yourselves as well. So what makes up the elements of a good sales email? After all, there are tons of great marketing and email strategies out there, whether it's AIDA, awareness, interest, desire, action, or radar, reach, depth, relationship. And whilst these tools are all brilliant ideas for getting an idea of the customer journey from, a cold prospect all the way to buying your item, it does left a little bit to be desired in terms of a completely fresh outbound sales approach. The truth is that all fantastic outbound sales emails have 5 elements to them, which are the subject line, the opening line, the so what, the proposition, and the close. So let's break these all down, starting with the subject line. So the subject line is the first point of contact that your prospect will have with your business. So there are a couple of key things to follow here. Number one, make sure it's relevant to them. Just writing something like congratulations on the new role is definitely not going to get someone's attention. However, you want to make it as specific as possible to them. Second of all, you want to make sure that your subject line is no more than 4 words long. A study by Retention Science that analyzed 267 sales emails, which is a lot, found that subject lines which were shorter and no longer than 4 words and more relevant perform better than generic subject lines. The opening line. So you want to make sure that with the opening line of your sales email, it gets the attention of your prospect. Let's take 2 examples. Let's say you were selling LED lights, seeing as they're here in the background, and the opening line of your first email was, hey, my organization sells LED lights, are you interested? Whilst the opening line of the second email was talking more specifically about the prospect, what they're interested in, and trying to find a reason why they would be interested in learning more about your LED lights. I know which one I'd want to respond back to. Having an opening line then that is specific to your individual prospect shows that you've done your research to them, shows that you're actually not a robot and not templating this from scratch, and you're genuinely reaching out to them as a person. The so what. So this is probably one of the most hardest things to nail as a salesperson, but it's one of the most important parts of your sales email. The way in which it works then is once you've done your research about that person, you want to propose a reason for why they would want to get in touch with yourself. Think why them and why now. Always think, why is the research relevant to the prospect and why would they need your product in their life? The proposition. So this is the place in which most salespeople make mistakes, in my opinion. They usually lead with the proposition as opposed to building up to it naturally. This is the place then where you would drop a relevant case study that's relevant, most importantly, to the prospect, and you would highlight a little bit more information around what it is that you do specifically and how you solve their problem. Word of advice, guys, if you really want to stand out against your competitors, the best place to do this would be the proposition. My personal trick for this is sending a quick 10-second video summarizing the email and summarizing exactly what you're talking about in there. Not a lot of people are doing this at the moment. I guarantee it would increase your response rates. The close. So most salespeople definitely go into too much detail in the close as well, but simply put, all a good close is telling the prospect what you want them to do next. If you want them to schedule a time for a call, if you want them to be aware that you're going to get into contact with them the next day, just be specific and let them know exactly what the next steps you want them to take are. So now that we've covered that, what are some other elements that salespeople need to know when sending out outbound sales emails? 1, the shorter emails, the better. Guys, this isn't college. You're not writing a dissertation. You want to make sure that your sales emails are as short and to the point as possible. Long form sales emails are just going to piss a lot of people off, and you want to make sure the last thing you're doing is pissing off your prospects. Personally, I like to aim between 4 and 6 lines the most. 2, talk about the prospect, don't talk about yourself. If you can take one thing away from this video, please let it be this point. I can't emphasize how important this is. As bad as it is to say, your prospects do not care about you. They do not care about your product. The only thing that people really care about, if we're being perfectly honest, is themselves. So talking about them more than talking about yourself is going to work wonders in sales emails. And it's also a really good tip for cold calling as well. 3, avoid lots of images and formatting. Now, unfortunately, a lot of salespeople like to do a lot of formatting in their emails. The truth of the matter is it'll just get caught up by spam folders. If you have a large number of images in there, you can pretty much kiss goodbye to getting any sort of email responses just because it'll fall directly into spam and your prospects won't have a clue about what it is that you're talking about. 4, aim for font size 12. Now I know that this is a bit of a weird one, especially on the back of what I've just said, but the only bit of formatting I like to do is add font size 12 to my sales emails. Main reason for doing this is it reads a lot easier than a lot of people who typically go around sort of font size 11 or font size 10, which can be a little bit hard to read, especially if you've been working at home for as long as I have and your vision has gone to complete. Point number 5, you'll get better over time. So I'm definitely going to be thinking the same thing about my YouTube videos when I'm a year down the line. But the truth of the matter is sales emails, like anything in life, take a while to get good at. And once you've written about 100 or so, you look at your first few sales emails and think, what was I thinking? Like my subscribers will when I get to my 100th video. Seriously, guys, gotta up this production value. Now, there's definitely been a lot of theory in this video, so I wanted to be sure that one of the things I left you with today was an actionable sales email that you could use and you could edit and adapt to your own personal needs. So what we'll do is we'll jump into the computer now. I'll draft up a sales email that I'll use for myself. So I'll be the prospect, yay me. And I'll also go through a sales email that I've received that fell into my spam folder, and we'll break down why that one wasn't good and the one I'll draft hopefully will be. Right guys, so this is the email template that I've come up with. I'll read through it before we dive into the analysis of it. So number 1, subject line, you remote working warrior. Hey Fehed, just saw your post on remote working warriors around how heavy a commuter monitor is. Definitely agree the switch to working from home has been a challenge for a lot of us. Pair this up with your day-to-day role selling into HR teams. I know how difficult getting through to the right people during this time is. At Sales Unveiled, we help the likes of client name drop 1, client name drop 2, get the most out of their sales leads by training salespeople to work remotely during this time. To help explain more, I've made a video, then we put a little video in there. Love to get an idea of closing more leads as a focus for you over the next few months, and if you'd be open to a call in a few days. What would be the best way of hearing your thoughts? Best, Fehed. So let's break down the email then here, guys. Starting off with a subject line. Number 1, it's only 4 words long, you remote working warrior. And second of all, anyone who's done a quick Google of my name knows that I own a website called Remote Working Warriors. Side note, if you're interested in learning more about working from home and all that stuff, definitely check it out. But it's short to the point and it's definitely relevant, so I'll definitely pass the check for the subject line. Hey Fehed, so this is both formal and informal at the same time, and it's definitely a lot better than just saying my first name or saying Dear Fehed, which, you know, a bit of a weird one to kind of say in a sales email there as well. The next section, just saw your post on remote working warriors around how heavy a computer monitor is. Definitely agree the switch to working from home has been a challenge for a lot of us. This is the opening line. It shows that I've done, you know, the person's done their homework who sent this email, and it gives them a specific reason for getting in touch as opposed to selling products. The next section, the so what that we talked about earlier on. So pair this up with your day-to-day role selling into HR teams. So this person, again, has done a quick search of me. It's found my LinkedIn and knows that, you know, I'm selling into HR teams and understands that the realities of sort of the pandemic and HR teams at the moment is definitely difficult. So I know how difficult getting through to the right people is during this time. Relevant, it highlights a specific problem that I might be facing, which is fantastic. Section 3, the sales proposition. So this goes to show, you know, who the organization is, a couple of client name drops, and goes into the problem that we can help with. So at Sales Unveiled, name of the organization, client name drop 1, client name drop 2, get the most out of their sales leads by training salespeople to work remotely during this time. Fantastic problem that they might want to solve if salespeople are having an issue with that. And to help explain more, I've made a video. Again, the little highlight that I put on here is I put a quick 30-second video just to highlight exactly what it is that we're talking about to help build that human relationship there. Love to get an idea of closing more leads as a focus for you over the next few months, and if you would be open for a call this day. To be honest, we could probably delete this, but I wanted to beef this email up a little bit more. And it re-emphasizes the pain point and the problem that this person might be having. So if they say yes, 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 you've changed their mindset into a positive space there. And then we finish here with the close and the call to action. What would be the best way of hearing your thoughts? So they should hopefully respond back with, hey, this isn't a focus right now. Hey, I want a email back at this particular time. Hey, please call me at this time. That should all basically help with that call to action there. So I'm really happy with this email. I think this is typical of what I do. And this tends to give me around about a 20% conversion rate when I do send an email similar to this out to the prospects that I'm sort of reaching out to, which took me a lot longer to say than I thought it would. Oh dear, guys. So this is a sales email that I've received in my spam folder. That's, a lot of people are probably sending out and don't know the difference actually, and don't know that, this just isn't getting results, or it might get, 1% or 0.1% response rate, which is obviously quite terrible. So this is a very generic, spammy type email that I've received in my spam folder. So subject line, Bitcoin is back, and this time you can make $1 million. All right, number one, it's too long. It's way more than 4 words. So why am I going to be interested in Bitcoin? Have they done any research about me? Do they know that I'm into financial markets? Do I own Bitcoin? All this kind of stuff. It doesn't make any particular sense at all. The next thing I'd say before we dive into the rest of it is just the formatting is actually all over the place. I mean, if you look at this, it was actually a lot worse. I actually cleaned it up a little bit, but there was like a random image that didn't load there. This is a sort of a header. This is a secondary header, another header. Where does this email actually start? What am I actually looking at? It's just definitely avoid something like this. But anyway, title here, earn thousands trading Bitcoin. Number one, that's incredibly spammy. Earn thousands trading Bitcoin. Why is someone talking about that? That doesn't make any sense. It's a waste of an opening line. It's absolutely zero research in there. Once again, why would I be interested in it, as I mentioned there? But why would I be interested in this? Same point here again as well. 2 additional ones. It doesn't make any sense. Student reveals he earns more than £40,000 working from home every day. So again, it's the same point twice. Do I know this student? Who is this person? They're an imaginary person. I don't really know. And a random quote here, which doesn't have any link, any referencing, or any of that kind of stuff. Appearing on this morning show, Akshay explained us in detail. I didn't even do that. That was done here, so spelling mistake. In detail, how he made it. One day, browsing online, he discovered an automating trading platform called what? The idea was simple: allow the average person the opportunity to cash in on the digital currency boom, even if they have absolutely no investing or technology experience. Guys, this is clearly a mass-produced email that's been sent out to sort of hundreds of thousands of people, but even still, this doesn't work for like a mass market approach or a single, outbound email approach, which we're talking about today. It's just no relationship building, no information, no insight on me. It's all mass produced with no relevance in terms of what I'd be interested in. So again, it's pushing a case study before you've built up credibility. And I know that's hypocritical, me talking about spelling mistakes when I made a few myself. But what's the name of the platform? Small errors, all these kinds of things. A user would simply make an initial deposit to the platform, usually $200 or more. Okay, number one, massive problem here, guys. No matter what you do, never talk price on an initial email, especially to an outbound prospect. It's going to get them thinking about financial budgets. It's going to put up barriers around sort of objections, specifically regarding to budget. So you never want to do this. And the automated trading algorithm would go to work using a combination of data and machine learning. The algorithm would know what the perfect time to buy digital assets and load, sell high, maximizing user profit. So again, talking about the pricing of an initial email, it's just not a good thing to do. To determine the power of any platform, Akshay and Holly, don't know who Holly is, deposited £200 live show after his initial deposit of £200 was made. Trading platform went to work buying low, selling high within 3 minutes, so this is massively unrealistic. She had a successful increase in her initial funds of £323.18. That's £143.18 of profit. So again, even if I were to critique this in a general spam email, it's completely unrealistic, zero credibility, with no legitimate name drops, poor formatting, and finally, this is the end of the email. What do they want me to do with it? There's absolutely zero call to action. I mean, if you scroll down here, this is actually how it kind of came. So, this is going to get very little conversion rate. It's most likely to end up in spam, and as you can tell, hopefully, the email that I wrote here reads a lot easier, seems a lot more research, and is a lot better overall than sort of receiving something like this. But yeah, we'll jump back into the footage now, but hopefully that will clear things up, and I'll be sure to sort of type this all up for you guys here as well. Bonus time, guys. So thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video. Now, appreciate that this has been a very content heavy video. So what I've done, if you just want the email template that we talked about earlier on, I've typed it out in the description below. So copy it, paste it in your inbox and send it out to your prospects, obviously making sure that you adjust it as you go along. What I've also done as well is we've touched upon video emails, and we've also touched upon, inbound sales emails, which are slightly different tweaks that you need to make. So I'll be sure to kind of cover those in future videos. As always, if there's anything you want to cover within sort of business, sales, anything overall, please do leave a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts and I'll be sure to get to it. Like and subscribe for more great content where I can learn from yourselves, you can learn from me, and we can make the world of sales and business a little bit nicer here. But that's all for now. Really looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good one. Bye.